Choosing the right Harley isn't just a purchase, it's a decision that shapes every ride. Pick the wrong one, and every mile reminds you of it. Today, we'll reveal 4 Harley models you should avoid and 5 you'll want to buy right now. Stick with me until the end. You won't want to miss it. Number 4. Harley-Davidson Breakout. Few motorcycles command attention on Main Street quite like the Breakout, with its stretched stance, gleaming paint, and drag-inspired attitude. From the moment it rumbles into view, heads turn, conversations pause, and its presence demands notice, proving this machine is built as much for spectacle as for speed. Power surges through the Breakout thanks to the Milwaukee 8 117, producing 102 horsepower and 123 pound-feet of torque from 1,923 cubic centimeters. Single discs up front and a single disc in the rear with anti-lock braking supply confident stopping power, supported by a telescopic fork and hidden rear monoshock. Low-slung and commanding, the Breakout weighs 683 pounds wet with a seat height of 25.6 inches, starting at $21,500. One rider shared how he fell in love with its boulevard presence, only to discover during his first mountain run that wrestling its long frame through tight bends was a challenge he never forgot. The Breakout is undeniably a showpiece, but its beauty comes with a price in practicality. That massive 240mm rear tire demands an exaggerated lean just to turn, and the 21-inch front wheel slows down steering to the point where tight city corners feel like wrestling a barge. The long rake and slammed profile look fantastic at bike night, yet older riders quickly discover that the comfort lasts only until the first pothole or rough patch of asphalt. For anyone who values a smooth ride and responsive handling, the Breakout offers flash but very little finesse. What truly defines the Breakout is the contrast between its straight-line thrill and its lack of real-world usability. In a straight stretch, the bike charges forward like a freight train, pulling hard and sounding every bit the part of a Harley hot rod. Once the road bends, however, the fun fades into frustration, with scraped pegs and a riding position that strains the back and shoulders over longer distances. Customizers may adore its clean canvas for radical styling, but for an older rider who wants to log miles instead of polishing chrome, the Breakout falls short. While the Breakout may win admirers standing still, a motorcycle must be more than a rolling sculpture. Performance, comfort, and control matter when the ride stretches beyond the boulevard. The next bike on this list proves that raw speed alone does not make a machine worthy of being a first choice for seasoned riders seeking Harley tradition. Number 3. Harley-Davidson Heritage Classic 114. Among Harley's modern lineup, the Heritage emerges as a machine that captures timeless character while delivering remarkable comfort. Its vintage lines, balanced stance, and inviting ride draw in seasoned riders and newcomers alike, turning long hours on the road into memorable adventures filled with the spirit of American freedom. Strength and tradition meet in the Heritage, where the Milwaukee 8 114 produces 94 horsepower and 119 pound-feet of torque from 1868 cubic centimeters. Single discs in the front and a single disc in the rear with anti-lock braking provide confident control, supported by traditional forks and a hidden rear monoshock. Grounded yet graceful, the Heritage weighs 728 pounds wet, with a 26.3-inch seat height and a starting price of $21,500. One longtime rider recalled carrying his grandson on a short coastal ride, amazed that the bike's comfort made 3 generations fall in love with the road all over again. From its introduction in the mid-1980s, the Heritage has stood for comfort paired with classic lines. The wide floorboards, roomy saddle, and upright bars create a natural position that eases strain on the shoulders and lower back. Older riders in particular value how effortless it feels to cruise for hours without fatigue. Add in the studded leather saddlebags and detachable windshield, and this bike becomes a machine ready for both short town runs and cross-state tours. Unlike stripped-down models that demand upgrades right away, the Heritage comes factory-equipped with most of what you actually need. Beyond practicality, the Heritage appeals to the heart as much as the body. Its large fenders, teardrop tank, and blacked-out motor call back to earlier decades, yet the ride quality is firmly modern. Smooth power delivery, stable handling, and refined suspension make it far more capable than its retro look suggests. The Daymaker headlight brightens highways with clarity, while the 5-gallon tank offers dependable range between stops. This balance of old-world charm and modern function has made the Heritage one of the most respected entry points for those stepping into the Harley tradition. While some may dismiss it as an old man's bike, the truth is that the Heritage remains one of the most versatile and forgiving options in the lineup. It is equally suited for the rider who wants to cruise slowly through town, or one who wishes to tackle light touring without stepping up to the massive touring machines. The next entry on this list highlights a model that aims for modern aggression but struggles to capture the timeless balance the Heritage so effortlessly provides. If you're enjoying this countdown and it's helping you figure out which Harley truly belongs in your garage, hit that like button. It really helps this channel grow. And while you're at it, drop a comment below. Tell me your pick for the best and worst Harleys. I'd love to hear your story. Number 2. Harley-Davidson Ultra Limited. For those who dream of conquering endless highways with sheer presence, the Ultra Limited stands tall as a symbol of grand touring might. Towering in stature and rich in features, this heavyweight machine has carried riders and passengers across countless miles, embodying comfort, endurance, and Harley's commanding spirit on the open road. Commanding highways with authority, the Ultra Limited carries the Milwaukee 8 114, producing 90 horsepower and 123 pound-feet of torque from 1,868 cubic centimeters. Single discs in the front and a single disc in the rear with anti-lock braking deliver confidence, supported by stout forks and dual rear shocks with hand-adjustable preload. Built to handle miles with ease, the Ultra Limited weighs 914 pounds wet, offers a 27.5-inch seat height, and starts at $31,530. One rider shared how his wife, once hesitant about long trips, became a devoted travel partner after experiencing the comfort of its wide seat and tour pack. The draw of the Ultra Limited has always been its ability to provide nearly everything in one package. A tour pack with a passenger backrest, lower fairings for extra wind protection, heated grips, and a large fairing-mounted infotainment system all combine to give a sense of abundance. Long-distance riders often remark how the wide saddle and passenger accommodations feel like a rolling living room, making the bike a true two-up touring solution. The immense fuel capacity allows for long stretches between gas stops, which is a relief when the horizon stretches endlessly ahead. Yet with all that equipment comes an undeniable burden. The sheer weight makes low-speed maneuvering a chore, particularly for older riders who may not have the strength to wrestle with nearly half a ton of motorcycle. The 114 engine delivers steady power, but compared to the newer generation of water-cooled 117 machines found in the latest Road Glide and Street Glide, the Ultra Limited feels outpaced in both performance and refinement. Heat management has also been a long-standing criticism, with the large frame radiating warmth in slow traffic. For riders who have sampled the lighter and more modern touring models, the Ultra Limited often feels dated. While the Ultra Limited will always have admirers for its commanding style and full-featured approach, many seasoned riders recognize that evolution has moved forward. Today, there are more efficient ways to cross the continent without so much bulk. The next and final machine in this countdown proves that sometimes a simpler, leaner design carries more value than a fully loaded heavyweight ever could. Don't guess. Use our quick checklist to spot the red flags on the avoid list before you buy. Link is in the description. Number 1. Harley-Davidson Street 500 and Street 750. Among all the motorcycles to roll out of Milwaukee in recent decades, none sparked as much debate as the Street 500 and Street 750. These small displacement machines were intended to welcome new riders into the Harley world, but instead, they quickly became known as a departure from what made the brand legendary. In the Street 500 and Street 750, The liquid-cooled Revolution X engine delivered 35 horsepower and 30 pound-feet of torque from 494 cubic centimeters in the smaller version, while the larger produced 68 horsepower and 44 pound-feet of torque from 749 cubic centimeters. Single discs front and rear with optional anti-lock braking, managed stopping power, and simple rear shocks paired with conventional front forks kept the ride basic. Wet weight measured about 489 pounds for the 500 and 517 pounds for the 750, with a seat height of 28 inches that kept riders low and approachable. Starting prices launched at $6,899 for the 500 and $7,599 for the 750, making them Harley's most affordable entry points at the time. On paper, the street models promised accessibility. Their lightweight and lower seat height made them less intimidating than the heavier Softails or touring bikes. They were built with urban riders in mind, slim enough to dart through city traffic and modestly priced to capture younger customers who might otherwise look to import brands. For a brief time, riding schools across the country stocked them as training bikes, reinforcing the idea that they were perfect first steps into motorcycling. Reality told a different story. Fit and finish fell short of what riders expected from Harley, with complaints of rattling parts, lackluster paint, and thin materials. Performance, while adequate for commuting, lacked the strong pull and throaty sound that long defined the brand. Many riders who started on a street quickly sought to trade up, leaving resale values to plummet and reputations to sour. Even dealerships often kept them in the corner while proudly displaying larger and more traditional models front and center. For seasoned enthusiasts, the Street family never felt like a true Harley, more like a compromise that pleased no one. Though discontinued in the United States after only a handful of years, the lesson of the Street remains clear. A Harley must offer more than affordability and entry-level accessibility. It must carry the heritage, power, and presence that generations of riders expect. The countdown ends here with a reminder that not every experiment deserves a permanent place in the lineage, and the Street 500 and Street 750 stand as proof of that truth. We have covered the four machines that fall short, from heavyweight tourers that feel dated to entry-level models that never lived up to the Harley name. But the story does not end with caution. Now it is time to shift gears and highlight 5 motorcycles you should buy right now with confidence. Number 5. Harley-Davidson Pan America 1250 Special. Adventure is not always about following tradition, and few motorcycles prove that more than the Pan America. It shattered expectations when Harley first revealed it, offering a completely new path for riders who wanted more than pavement-bound touring. At the center of the Pan America sits the Revolution Max 1250, producing 150 horsepower and 94 pound-feet of torque from 1,250 cubic centimeters. Brembo dual discs up front with a single disc in the rear and a full anti-lock braking system provide dependable stopping confidence, while electronically adjustable semi-active suspension adapts to every condition. Weighing 561 pounds wet, the Pan America carries a 31.1-inch seat height that can lower automatically through adaptive ride height. With a starting price of $19,999, it blends technology, versatility, and power, opening Harley's doors to riders who crave adventure, both on and off the pavement. What separates the Pan America from anything else in the Harley stable is its ability to feel equally at home on a gravel trail or a freeway stretch. For riders who once believed a Harley could not tackle the same terrain as European adventure bikes, this model changed minds quickly. Long travel suspension, generous ground clearance, and sophisticated ride modes create confidence whether the path is dusty, muddy, or freshly paved. Its upright seating position and wide bars provide commanding control, making it approachable even for older riders stepping into an adventure-style motorcycle for the first time. Technology defines the Pan America, with a 6.8-inch touchscreen for navigation and connectivity, selectable ride modes for changing conditions, and adaptive lighting that follows lean angle. Natural ergonomics and balanced weight keep fatigue low, making long-haul touring more comfortable than heavier machines in Harley's lineup. The Pan America proves that heritage does not always have to mean holding on to the past. It respects Harley values of strength and presence while expanding what those values mean for today's rider. It is proof that adventure is not reserved for European brands alone, and it stands ready for anyone willing to take the road less traveled. Moving on, the next machine shows that even within the Softail family, versatility and style can meet in ways that attract riders of every generation. Number 4. Harley-Davidson Lowrider ST. Performance-minded riders often want a motorcycle that delivers both muscle and touring potential, and the Lowrider Saint stands out as one of the most balanced answers Harley has produced in recent years. Raw strength defines the Lowrider Saint. Powered by the Milwaukee 8 117, delivering 105 horsepower and 125 pound-feet of torque from 1,923 cubic centimeters. Dual discs up front and a single rear disc with full anti-lock braking keep it steady, paired with cartridge-style forks and a hidden rear monoshock. Balanced between muscle and control, the Lowrider Saint weighs 720 pounds wet, holds a 27-inch seat height, and begins at $22,200. A veteran rider told of blasting through desert highways at sunset, the roar echoing off red cliffs as the bike's power and poise reminded him why Harley remains unmatched for American freedom. What makes the Lowrider Saint unique is how it blends West Coast styling with true long-distance capability. The frame-mounted fairing, reminiscent of performance baggers, cuts through wind while giving the bike a commanding stance. Hard clamshell saddlebags provide practical storage for weekend trips, yet keep the profile slim enough for daily use. Riders who want both a stripped-down feel and some real-world convenience find that this machine bridges the gap between bare-bones cruisers and full touring models. It feels aggressive, but never out of control, which resonates strongly with riders who crave power without sacrificing everyday usability. The Lowrider Saint recalls Harley's hot rod spirit with an assertive stance, mid-mounted controls, and a surging motor built for open highways. Purposeful rather than flashy, its raw look appeals to riders who prefer muscle over chrome, balancing performance and function for both mountain passes and city streets. In many ways, the Lowrider Saint proves that Harley can evolve while staying true to its heritage. It respects tradition through its lines and attitude, while modernizing the experience with power and touring practicality that genuinely work together. For riders seeking a machine that feels alive on the throttle yet ready for long days on the road, the Lowrider Saint is a compelling choice. The next chapter highlights a bike with a very different personality, showing that comfort and classic character can be just as important as raw performance. Number 3. Harley-Davidson Heritage Classic 114. Some motorcycles manage to balance nostalgia with modern practicality, and the Heritage does this better than almost any other machine in Harley's lineup. Riders are often surprised by how refined it feels compared to its old-school looks. Timeless appeal defines the Heritage, powered by the Milwaukee 8 114 that produces 94 horsepower and 119 pound-feet of torque from 1,868 cubic centimeters. Dual discs in the front and a single rear disc with anti-lock braking maintain confidence, while conventional forks and a hidden rear monoshock provide a steady, comfortable ride. Carrying 728 pounds wet with a 26.3-inch seat height, the Heritage starts at $21,500. A retired serviceman shared how he rode coast to coast with his son on this machine, the leather bags filled with camping gear, both discovering that every mile carried the feeling of freedom they had long dreamed of sharing. What sets the Heritage apart is the way it invites comfort straight from the factory. Floorboards allow relaxed foot placement, wide handlebars keep shoulders loose, and the soft saddle provides lasting support. For older riders who want to spend a full day in the saddle, these details make a remarkable difference. The detachable windshield and roomy saddlebags transform the bike into a light touring machine, while still keeping it nimble enough for short rides around town. Instead of needing immediate upgrades, it comes ready to go for both casual cruises and longer trips. The Heritage speaks to those who value Harley's past, with full fenders, a teardrop tank, and blacked-out finishes giving it timeless appeal. A Daymaker headlamp ensures safety at night, while a 5-gallon tank supports long rides. Substantial yet approachable, it strikes a rare balance riders deeply appreciate. For many, the Heritage is not just another option, but a sweet spot between stripped-down cruisers and oversized touring rigs. It provides enough storage and wind protection to satisfy weekend warriors, yet remains approachable for those who prefer something less intimidating than a 900-pound touring giant. In the end, this model has earned its reputation as one of the most versatile Harley motorcycles for seasoned riders and newcomers alike. As we move forward, the next entry brings us into the world of touring muscle, where modern design and powerful engines set the stage for Harley's future. Number 2. Harley-Davidson Road Glide 2025. Among the great American touring machines, the Road Glide has always held a special place, but the redesigned 2025 version takes it to a new level of refinement. Commanding the open road with confidence, the Road Glide is driven by the Milwaukee 8 117, producing 105 horsepower and 126 pound-feet of torque from 1,923 cubic centimeters. Dual discs up front and a single rear disc with anti-lock braking provide solid control, while Showa dual bending valve forks and rear emulsion shocks deliver stability mile after mile. Weighing 820 pounds wet with a 27.6-inch seat height, the Road Glide starts at $25,999. A seasoned rider told of journeying from Chicago to the Pacific Coast, where the shark-nose fairing cut through relentless winds, and the bike carried him smoothly across endless plains, making the dream of America's highway freedom vividly real. The Road Glide impresses with mile-eating ease and confidence at any speed. Its frame-mounted fairing boosts highway stability, while shedding nearly 100 pounds improves responsiveness. Strong acceleration handles two-up touring with luggage, and for older riders, its blend of comfort and power makes long days in the saddle effortless. Beyond mechanical upgrades, the Road Glide also introduces a refreshed aesthetic that blends modern lines with unmistakable Harley presence. Updated lighting with full light-emitting diode fixtures improves visibility in every direction, while the redesigned bodywork flows cleanly from fairing to saddlebags. Inside the cockpit, riders benefit from a refined display and integrated technology, giving them both clarity and convenience without overwhelming the traditional feel. The wide saddle and relaxed ergonomics ensure that comfort is never sacrificed, and the large fuel tank supports long stretches of uninterrupted travel. For riders who may have dismissed the Road Glide in earlier years as too heavy or too dated, the 2025 redesign demonstrates what evolution can achieve. It is now a touring motorcycle that blends cutting-edge engineering with the unmistakable rumble and authority of a Harley. It remains a machine built to conquer highways, coastlines, and endless stretches of American asphalt. Closing in on the top of this list, the final entry highlights a motorcycle that delivers the essence of Harley in its purest and most affordable form. We're almost at the end of the list, but before we reveal number 1, I've got a quick ask. If you're serious about riding and don't want to miss future Harley breakdowns, hit that subscribe button now. Stay connected, join this community, and ride with us every time a new video drops. Number 1. Harley-Davidson Street Bob 114. At the heart of Harley's Softail lineup lies a motorcycle that captures simplicity and strength in a way few others can, and that is the Street Bob. Stripped down to the essentials yet powered for excitement, it has become the most affordable path into big Harley performance. Unapologetically minimal, the Street Bob carries the Milwaukee 8 114, producing 90 horsepower and 118 pound-feet of torque from 1,868 cubic centimeters. Single front discs with a single rear disc and anti-lock braking handle stopping, while conventional telescopic forks and a hidden rear monoshock keep the ride planted and responsive. At 655 pounds wet with a 25.8-inch seat height, the Street Bob starts at $17,500. A rider once shared how he picked one up to relive his youth, and on a backroad trip with friends, he rediscovered the raw joy of Harley's roar echoing through valleys, a sound he had missed for decades. What makes the Street Bob so appealing is its balance of price, performance, and personality. For riders who want to feel the rush of torque without the heft of a full touring machine, it offers a lean frame and powerful motor that respond eagerly to every twist of the throttle. Its styling is raw and minimalist, with blacked-out finishes and simple lines that allow each rider to make it their own. From the factory, it comes ready with mid-mount controls, chopped fenders, and spoked wheels, delivering an understated but aggressive stance that speaks directly to Harley's rebellious spirit. The Street Bob grows with its rider, serving as a blank canvas for customization, whether saddlebags and a windshield for touring or taller bars and exhaust for attitude. Manageable weight and low seat height keep it approachable, while agility in town and highway stability make it versatile and authentically Harley. More than just a motorcycle, the Street Bob represents the core of what Harley has always stood for: freedom, strength, and individuality. It does not overwhelm with technology or luxury features, but instead delivers a direct connection between rider and machine. That honesty is what makes it the #1 recommendation to buy now. For anyone who wants the truest taste of Harley without breaking the bank, the Street Bob remains the ultimate choice. That wraps up our full countdown of Harleys to avoid and the ones worth buying now. If this guide helped you, hit like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more honest Harley talk. Ride safe, ride proud, and I'll see you on the next journey.